Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, and this is the set 6145. Tonight, we are discussing financial literacy. And with such a broad topic, there are so many different aspects that we need to cover. So, we're going to take it low and slow. Also, just fair warning um, my wife's dogs are out. So, if they start barking intermittently, just bear with and we'll get them calmed down. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. We're going to be speaking to a gentleman who has 15, 20 years plus in this business, if you would. Mr. Plinio Vargas by way of Florida. We'll have him come in and sort of give his background information and everything that he's done over the last, so many years. I hope everybody's doing well. And we should have a very interesting show tonight. This is something that I think that is long overdue, and depending on what happens and how things go, we'd like to make this an ongoing thing because there's so much to understand when it comes to financial literacy. With that being said, let me see if I bring in my partner, Mr. Sasson. You ready, Mr. Sasson? Oh yeah, sir. Good
Well,
evening.
good evening, good evening, good evening.
You know what's funny? I was talking to myself the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta do something about that."
Good evening, good evening. I want to suck your blood.
Miss Reyes, Miss Millie Mill. Good evening to y'all. We see you. So yeah, finally, financial
Yes.
literacy, right? We've only been discussing this for I don't know since we started.
Yeah. This is something that we all need, man. I don't care who you are. Take your notebooks out, take some pen and paper, write your questions down, and just, you know, I'm going to have to rewatch this myself because I know, it's going to be hard to learn some of the stuff as we're talking. But, this is the one to share, guys. Share this and hit them like buttons, and this
For
is going to be a
sure,
good one.
for sure. Mr. Joey Santiago, our brother, all the way down in Texas. We see you. Good evening, brother. And Joey's in Texas. You believe that?
Yeah. We got people all over, man. That's the
It's
thing
crazy.
about, Mr. Vargas is located in Florida, but I mean, we got a lot of people in Florida, so definitely he could be a big help to people all over. So,
For sure. Mr. Torres, we see you. Good evening. Johnny, we see you. Good evening. Everybody's coming into the room. Man, so you got to forgive me. I'm a little foggy. As you know, I did a 16-hour joint and I came home and passed out. And has anything happened while I was asleep? Did anything like explode or?
yeah, just the usual. Biden must have signed like 100 executive orders or something while you're sleeping.
Oh my
you know,
God.
yeah.
Hold up a
So,
second. I gotta say a special shout out to my two son fools, little Josiah and little Asa. Theo sees you. I hope you guys are being good boys. They watching. They watching. Yeah. Every time I go to sleep, either in the middle of the day or when I come off shift, I always think to myself, man, I hope nothing burns down. Like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? It's crazy.
yeah. Those shifts you work, those you never get a good 8 hours rest.
Nah.
Those are
And
the worst, man. All those different time zones.
yeah, and the reality is, um, when I go to sleep, like today, I could have been like, I could have stayed asleep. I definitely could have. Like,
Yeah.
I slept through this whole thing. But we here. People are in the room. We have Mr. Plinio Vargas waiting in the green room,
Yes.
and I guess you want to run this track, and then we'll make our announcements and whatnot.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
Oh, let's go, people. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening with my partner,
Sally Sasson in the building.
Corona free, baby.
Corona free.
Just how we need it to be. And this is the set 6145. Tonight, Wait, let me pull up my man's banner. Hold up. We're welcoming Mr. Plinio Vargas. I think that is the most interesting name that I've heard in quite
Yeah.
some time. Plinio.
Yeah, I never heard Plinio before. That's definitely different.
And we've been, they're part of our neighborhood. So we've heard some good ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Eximo and Porfirio Vargas.
Porfirio. Porfirio, yo, Mr. Oficial and Mucho Macho is gonna be on the Valentine's special.
Yeah, I got the word. I got the word. Giving
Ooh.
the love advice.
Yeah, people. We're gonna be having a Valentine's Day special, but also this Sunday we are going to have the big game, the virtual show, and there goes the perritos.
Oh, yeah. Sound like
Amen.
a fucking bird.
It's two of them at the same time.
Oh,
Let me share the big game advertisement here. Where is it? There we go. So Sunday, February 7th at 4 p.m. Mr. Sasson may open up the show. I may come in a little after, but we're having the big game virtual party. We're going to have past guests coming through to say, hello and give their thoughts on what they think the game is going to turn out to be. We're also supposed to have some DJs spinning some good music, and just going to share some laughs and have some fun.
yep.
So hope everybody can be there for that. So
I'm gonna
what's up?
get the boxes drawn tomorrow. I've been
Okay.
super busy, but tomorrow I told everybody, so I'll try to do something either live through here or the
On
YouTube
YouTube?
channel, and
Okay.
I'll do the boxes, the drawing.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, tune in Sunday, starting at 4 p.m., 4 to 7 p.m. We're gonna have the big game virtual party boxes. Oh, that reminds me, I got to get this makeup thing together. Supposed to have makeup a raffle for the ladies. Yeah. So we hope you all can join us and just come through and have a good time. Also, yesterday or the first was it? It was yesterday or the first. I'm sorry. Again, I'm foggy. You got to forgive me. Our good friend, Mr. Booney Mayfield, dropped his album Black Floyd. So, people, if you're tired of the same old, and really want to look and hear good music and new and creative music, please go check out our brother, Mr. Booney Mayfield, by way of Colorado Springs, who is now transplanted to LA. He had an announcement on the 2nd. He went live. I couldn't even hear him, but our brother just dropped his album. Go check it out. Should be good. Should be very good.
Good luck to him. Good
Yeah.
luck to Boone.
Yeah. Good luck, Booney. We see you. Also, we forgot about this the other day, but we're gonna make mention of it now, and it just it seems to keep happening. These celebrity deaths are just like
Yeah,
off the hook, right?
it's like every time we come on the show, somebody passed away.
Yo,
You know.
it's crazy. But yeah, Screech, Mr. Dustin Diamond, aka Screech, passes away of cancer at 44. Wow.
Yeah, man.
He wasn't necessarily part of our childhood, like it was the generation, after or before us.
Yeah.
I mean, after whatever.
He's a little younger than us, but I mean, the show was on probably during that time frame that we was growing up.
Yeah, we just wasn't rocking with Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, no.
I know there's a few young people in the room that probably were. So, but yeah, rest in peace, and condolences to his family, man. It's terrible how we keep losing these people that we've grown up with and become familiar with. So sorry that so young, 44 and cancer.
Yeah, man.
Right? We talked about this before. Every time somebody dies that is in our generation or that we're familiar with, the first thing we do is we go run to go find out what they died.
Yeah. I'm like, damn. You gotta go
paranoid.
get checked.
Yeah, for real. Mr. Ray, we see you in the building. Good evening. All the way out west. Miss Karen De Jesus, we see you as well. Good evening, young lady. So she's corralling the dogs, as you can hear in the background. But we want to get into this. So tonight we're going to be welcoming Mr. Plinio Vargas. We're going to be talking about financial literacy and all the different aspects that go into it. So, I hope everybody is ready.
It's a lot of information, guys, in a short time frame. So we're going to try to get as much as we can in. We thank Plinio Vargas for this opportunity and coming on with us. This is on the arm. People getting a lot of free advice here that, he's helping a lot of people out of situations right now that you really got to take into effect. So, we'll send all his info. We'll get all his info and post it, and get as much help his way too, because this is something like, this is very, very generous of him. So
yeah, this is how he makes his living. People pay
Yeah.
him for this information. So
Mhm.
as a favor to us in the show, Mr. Plinio has agreed to come on and give us his time. So I hope everybody pays attention. Before we start, Mr. Mark David Valentin, the New York Hot Wings, is in the room. Salute, brother. And Manuel Torres is trying to catch your attention, Cell. He's saying Caribe update. Prico 1, Colome 1, end of 6. Oh man, we doing baseball. This
Baseball
baseball?
Caribbean World Series.
Okay. This brother said, thank God I'm financially literate. So we ain't talking to you. All right.
Share it with somebody who ain't.
All right. So tonight, again, we're pleased and we're happy to welcome a very good gentleman to the show, to give us his time and to help our people with very pertinent and important information for their lives. The set welcomes Mr. Plinio Vargas.
And thank you, gentlemen, for having me. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
of course. We value this. Mr. Vargas, before we even start, why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're from, well, your business name and what you do, so they can get an understanding.
It's a good start. Before I do that, though, I just want to thank you all so much for having me on the set. Real people, real stories, right?
That's it, brother. That's what we do.
Well, that's what we're going to do here today.
Nice.
We're real people with real stories. My background, born and raised in Washington Heights. Moved to Florida at a very young age, and went to college and got my business degree from a small Division III college in Ohio.
Ooh.
So it's quite eye-opening when you've been to different parts of the United States, along with being Dominican. When you see how people operate, you begin to realize that the Brady Bunch actually does exist, not in the Dominican Republic, but it exists someplace out there. And I've been there. I saw that. And with my background, being raised by a single mother with two boys, it was different. It was different upbringing. And I was able to figure out at a very early age that there was a particular skill set that I was blessed with, and that is the appreciation, the joy of understanding numbers. Some people get a calling to be a priest. Some people are natural police officers, firefighters. God bless them. My girlfriend's a school teacher, with fifth graders. But mine is credit and debt. Strange as it may seem, credit and debt is my passion.
Wow. How does that come to be? Because, like Sally, like you're listening to him say that, and it's striking a chord with me, because I'm like, when we were in school, and this is the reason why we're having this conversation, credit and debt is not a subject, it's not a class, right? So how does one come to understand, and venture off into such a trade, or to become a professional of understanding credit and debt?
Was it a personal experience?
Yes. Again, I don't mean to go back to the set and discussing real people and real stories, but if you guys would like to hear a real story, I'd be more than happy to share it with you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So imagine your mother works very hard. She's Dominican. Imagine she's a waitress putting two boys through private school, Incarnation School. And then you moved to Florida, private school. Then you run track, you play baseball, you do whatever it is to get yourself into college. Now you come home to find out that your mother, as hard as she worked, she has a slip and fall at Denny's 6 months prior to my graduation.
Wow.
Herniates 2 discs, doesn't know about workman's comp, doesn't know how to play with the system, doesn't even know about lawsuits, barely speaks English. Before you know it, the house is 6 months in foreclosure. Her car is repossessed. And I come home to find out that she pulled 4 credit cards in my name, charged over $8,000, defaulted on it. And then I said, Mom, what are we going to do about this? And she goes, I don't know, mijo. You tell me you do it with a college degree. well, yeah.
Wow. Talk about grow up now.
Yeah. I guess we're doing this, right?
Like this.
Sure.
Here.
Yeah.
Here.
Mira, póntete a trabajar, no joda.
Okay.
Wow. That
So
is
we're doing
amazing.
this. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to share something with you guys that is very, very important for the listening audience to understand.
Mm.
And it is absolutely amazing. The conversation that we're going to have right now is called wiring.
Okay.
I have a brother who is 1 year and 1 day older than me. And today, he's a firefighter. He's the type of guy that would run into the building and save the lives or the life of a little girl. The only way you get me in a burning building is if there's a credit report in there.
Christ.
You got that? Let's understand wiring. When you walk up to my brother and you say, hey, how much money do you have in your checking account? He's like, don't talk to me about money. I don't talk about money. Just handle my business. Wiring. Me, popcorn, all day, money, credit, estate planning, retirement, all day. It's a fun topic. So when I came home to that situation, instead of being angry that we are about to be evicted and thrown into foreclosure, I was curious.
Okay.
It's like, how in the world could we be so upside down in a home? How can we get out of this? And I had to learn about home modification. I had to learn about amortization schedule, daily compounding interest, foreclosure, credit cards, judgments. Come on, guys, let's do this, right? Let's go in. I had to take a crash course, and I swear I felt like I was in Disney World.
Wow.
I was amazed. Remember, we talked about education.
Right.
So I went to college. I came home with a business degree, and I'm asking my mother, what are we going to do about this? Her answer was absolutely correct. You tell me.
Right.
So now, guys, we're going to do this. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. I cannot blame anyone for this. But with your permission, I want to.
Please do.
And when I blame it on someone, the final answer is going to blow your mind. Ready?
Go.
It's our school system. They don't teach you anything that is pertinent to growing up as a United States citizen. You're supposed to learn that from mommy and daddy. You understand? Now, you go to high school, you go to college. I graduated a business degree, and I could tell you whatever you want to know about macroeconomics, the laws of supply and demand. But when my mama's house is in foreclosure, I'm asking her what to do. How about a course about checking accounts? How to buy a car? How to buy a house? Amortization schedule, daily compounding interest based on an average daily balance, how banks make money? How about an estate plan? If I die tomorrow, who's going to bury me? Who's going to get my car? Who's going to do I even have a will? Do I even have insurance? If I died, I could have paid $20 a month to have just a $50,000 policy with my children as a beneficiary to say, Dad, we'll give you a rockin' pit bull style funeral, right? But who are you going to blame? Your mom, your dad, coming to this country to give you more than what they had in the Dominican Republic, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Cuba, Bahamas, you name it? Or can you blame it on the system? Yes, I could. But here's the exclamation point, gentlemen. Ready? Here it is. They will never teach you what I'm about to teach you today because it is not in the best interest of the big boys, the bankers, Wall Street. If everybody knew what I know, this country will be broke. How do banks make money? You have bad credit.
Hold on a second. Let me interrupt you, sir. If you're just joining the show, this is the set. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Mr. Sasson in the building.
And tonight we're discussing financial literacy with the amazing guest, Mr. Plinio Vargas. And I'm going to say this for most people in the room, es posible que estás hablando como una lengua de China or whatever, because he's saying things that are probably going over a lot of people's heads. And that's okay. That's the reason why we have him here. Okay? So everybody just pay attention, buckle yourselves in, because there's going to be a lot of information coming at you that you may or may not understand. And that's okay. And if you don't understand it, in the chat, post your question and we'll throw it out to Mr. Vargas. So you had something?
Well, no, you go ahead. Mr. Vargas, we keep going.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Here we go. Think about this for a minute. You have less than perfect credit, right? You have no credit. You're over the age of 18. You work, you make money, and you deserve to buy a car. You afford yourself the luxury of going to a car dealership and buying a car. Now, the very first thing that's going to happen is there's a sticker price on the car.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what they bought the car for. But if you are a professional and you understand how business works and you know how to do cost analysis, price comparing, and shopping, then all of a sudden you grow a little bit more negotiating power.
Okay.
Now you walk to the dealership and you get yourself a deal. We're going to use $10,000 as a mark. $10,000 is the amount that you're financing after tax, tag, title, dealer fee, ese fee, otro fee, another fee, y por el you know what fee.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we're going to say you put down $4,000, you're financing 10.
Okay.
Now, at a 10% interest rate for 5 years, your monthly payment is $212 a month. But that number drastically changes if you know that by law, they can charge you up to 29.9% interest on a used car. That takes the payment from $212 to like $300 plus. You take an extra $150, multiply that times 60 months, and you will see the price that you paid for not doing your homework and being ready. It's scary. Welcome to America, ladies and gentlemen.
So
you
basically,
think they're going to teach you in college how to go in there prepared? You'll take the American economy that's suffering already and you're going to destroy it. It behooves the American system not to teach you what I'm about to teach you today.
Keeping us ignorant and aloof as workers, and I say this all the time, we're just human resources, no more, no less, unless you empower yourself and try to locate and find the information and become educated. And that's exactly why we have you here tonight.
Or if you know someone that you trust that knows the system, and then Sally, you, my friend, are the go-to people to get the information and then equip themselves to be soldiers.
Plinio, so you mentioned life insurance earlier, right?
Right.
When you were what would you recommend as far as life insurance, someone term or permanent? Like, which is the best route to go? Or do you recommend life insurance at all?
That's a very good question, and I'm going to have to yield this to my personal opinion versus my professional opinion.
Okay.
Because I would think that a financial planner would probably give you a different answer, because he sells universal life, and a person that works for, let's say, Primerica, he would sell term. So they're both going to have two contrasting points of views. Let's be clear on that.
Right.
So obviously, in my personal opinion, I am a huge fan of term, because I just want insurance,
Right.
and I want to invest money. Therefore, if I'm going to invest money like in the stock market, then I'm going to buy Disney or hot Tesla right now, or Neo. I'm going to put my $40 a month, $50 a month into buying something that has the potential to grow, and I will educate myself and invest my own money. I do not need a policy to supposedly invest my money on things that I can do myself. There's your answer.
Now, the details behind that, you said it's term.
Term is basically 20 years, and based on your health, smoker, non-smoker, you get a policy that basically says if you die within this time period, your children will get $100,000, $500,000, $1 million policy, and it is the most inexpensive policy versus universal whole life, which is term plus savings, more or less.
So you're basically betting on your own death.
That is exactly what insurance is. You're betting that you're going to die. And they're saying, based on your health, we're betting you're not going to die, so we're going to make your premiums low. If you go in there and you're a smoker and you occasionally do heroin, yeah, you're probably going to be like $1,000 a month. And they're like, this guy ain't going to live for 20 years.
I love the way he slipped that in there. And you occasionally do some heroin.
It comes up on your blood test.
So Plinio, if you don't die within those 20 years, then what happens to that money?
Now you can redo your policy every 10 years, every 5 years, and it may cost more later. But the goal is to have something, after your policy expires, if you lived your life correctly and you invested properly and you've got your $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in the bank, now you don't need an insurance policy anymore. You need an estate plan. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a good point. And I want to ask you this. How does one then take, let's say, this information, and specifically when it comes to life insurance, because, as we discussed earlier, every other day somebody's dying, right? How do we as people of color specifically,
yes,
how do we use these tools to then, or how can we use these tools to then, further our families' opportunities in the future, whether it be for our direct children or our grandchildren? How do we use these policies to help them going forward? Is there a way to do that?
Well, I am not trying to segue here, gentlemen.
Okay.
But I do have to bring this up before I can answer the question.
Okay.
Wiring. Remember that conversation?
Wiring.
I don't care if you have no clue, and I don't care if you do have a clue. If you're not feeling that conversation, you need to find somebody that is and let them do it for you. Because to be the one, it would be like asking me, how do you go into a burning building and save the life of a little girl? I'm like, I don't know, and I don't want to know, right? And you got to understand, gentlemen, there are people out there that find this show boring. And they know it means something. They know it's important, but they have to turn to somebody and say, listen, I trust you. Help me with this. I don't want to deal with that. But I can continue to educate, finding those and creating those soldiers out there who are listening. And they're the ones that got to fan out to their loved ones and say, I'm going to take care of you like I did my mother and my family. Because my mother's living very, very well right now.
God bless her.
Yes, sir.
So my brother has a brother-in-law who was just getting married on a visit. I went to St. Augustine. I think that's somewhere in your vicinity.
Yes, sir.
And his father-in-law was sending him to get a policy. This guy's like 23, right?
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. So when he left, my brother tells me, oh, he's going to get $1 million life insurance policy. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. His father-in-law is making him do it. And it didn't, at that moment, it didn't click, right? But then afterwards, time passing, I'm like, it makes sense. They have no children. It's just her. They just got a house. They're young. God forbid he's out on the road and gets smashed by, Florida. Those guys drive crazy out there and, container trucks and drunk drivers. He gets killed. She has nothing really essentially to worry about financially because she has $1 million policy tucked away. So I think that's more of why I asked you that question, because I feel like we don't understand how we can set our family up for future financial freedom by acquiring policies earlier on in life to then help and mitigate with some of the financial headache that'll come when we die, right?
Right.
So you talked about purchasing vehicles. You talked a little bit about credit. And now we're brushing on life. What about when people are buying a home or first-time home buyers? Is there sort of a segment that you have for people in that lane who are trying to get their ducks in a row to make sure they can get the best and the most out of when they're purchasing a home their first time?
As a matter of fact, very interesting that you brought that up. I would like to lead into this conversation with a little parody.
Okay.
With a video that I put together to get people kickstarted with humor on preparing to purchase a home.
Is this the My Credit Sucks?
Nope. How about the puppet parody?
The puppet parody. Hold on a second. Well, we have right now we have not even. Let me see, because we have your bank account shell game up.
That's coming up next.
Oh, the puppet parody. Let's see where that is at. So if you don't understand, Mr. Vargas does like to incorporate humor into his sort of teachings, and as you can see, we are trying to pull up a video called Puppet Parody.
How about Johnny and Puppets?
Johnny and Puppets.
Yeah, that's my son.
But in the meantime, is there anything that you can divulge to the audience as far as first time home buyership?
Yeah.
Or what they should be looking to do prior to that move?
I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible.
Okay.
But at the end, I'm sure people will have my phone number and they can contact me and my staff, and we can go over in more detail. Mm-hmm. But first time home buyer is FHA, and that's a Federal Housing Association.
Okay.
The government has a program out there that if you're buying a home for the first time, instead of coming in what's called conventional, which is 10% down. So on a $100,000 property, you have to put down $10,000 plus closing costs, which is about another $5,000. Okay. Got it? Mm-hmm. But if you come in with 2.5% down, which is the government assisting you with your down payment, then you've got 2.5% down. That's $2,500 plus closing costs. Now you're looking at a lot less out of pocket.
Okay.
Now you want to buy a house, right? So here we go. What are they going to do? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to say, are you working? Yes, I am. How long have you been on the job? At least 2 years. Good. How much do you make? X. How long are you making that for? Good. Could you prove that? I want to see 2 years of W-2s and 3 months worth of bank statements. Bam. Last but not least, my favorite part. How's your credit? Oh, my credit. I don't know. And here I come. You don't know? You do not know what your credit score is? You do not know what's on your credit report? You're the only Plinio Vargas that I know. How come somebody else is telling you about your credit, Plinio, when it's Plinio Vargas's credit? Welcome to America, right? Now, they're going to say, okay, your credit's good. You make $50,000 a year, but you have a $2,800 a month car payment. Why? I like Bentleys. Yeah, but your DTI, your debt to income ratio, is way against you. Now you can only qualify for a $30,000 condo. And you're like, oh, wait, life is not fair. Well, obviously, the school system didn't teach us about DTI, debt to income ratio. Obviously, the school system didn't teach us about credit. Obviously, the school system didn't teach us about how to buy a house. I just did. It's amazing how simple it is. But if no one has ever sat you down and taught you this, how are you supposed to know?
So what are ways people could build their credit up?
Well, let's say you're 18 years old, right? And let's remove the concept of you have responsible parents that made you authorized users on their credit card and co-sign for your first vehicle. Let's remove that from the equation, shall we? How do you establish credit? A secured credit card? You purchase a vehicle. You know you're going to take a hit the first time, right? But you don't finance more than $10,000. You got to work your way into establishing credit, right? Now, if you don't make that car payment on time, you could be late. But more than 30 days late, ay Dios mío. Right? Woo!
Not good.
Now you're going to buy a house and you're going to buy a car with a 550 beacon score and late payments. Telling the whole world that you can't pay your bills on time. Ay, papa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
So, yes, America, right? Here it is. America is like a mob with no real consequences. They don't break legs. They don't break your arm. No, they ruin your credit. So that way, when you don't pay on time, you're not going to get a knock on the door. Hey, where's my money? No, you're going to get a hit on your credit report. I'm not worried about that. Oh, but you should. Because when you get married to Cindy, you know, your high school sweetheart, and she looks at you and says, "Ay, Plinio, I really want a house. Because, you know, these 3 kids that we have from the, you know, going out to the nightclub and everything, and then you told me all these things. I want to be ready. Can you help me?" And we're like, "Of course, baby, whatever you need. I make money." And you forgot about those late payments on that car 4 years ago? Ay, papa.
Van a joder.
Cindy ain't going to be too happy with you at the mortgage broker's table.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like this guy sees into the future.
It's the reality, man. Listen to this, guys. Are you ready? Here it is. Do you think people come to me because they want to fix their credit and get out of debt? No, they could care less about that. They don't come to see me because they want to fix their credit and get out. What do you think? They woke up when they were like, you know what? Today
is the day.
Is the day. Today, I'm going to be responsible. I want to clean up my credit and do the right thing. No. They come to me because they want something.
They want to purchase something.
Because credit gets in the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sally. You got it. Sally Sasson, you've been around. You've been around.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Something. They don't come to me because they woke up one day with an epiphany. No.
If you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Sasson in the building.
And this is the set 6145. And tonight we're having the very animated Mr. Plinio Vargas out of Florida.
You want animation? Go ahead and pop the video.
Yeah, we're gonna rock that right now. Who's giving us all the aspects of we're trying to cover as many aspects of financial literacy as we can. We're going through credit, first time home buyer, purchasing vehicles, how to build credit, so on and so forth. We even did life insurance. Everybody who has questions, please just pose them in the room and we'll go through them as we can. Right now, we're going to show a video because Mr. Vargas likes to use a lot of different ways to connect with his audience. So right now, we're going to share a video called Johnny and Puppets. I hope everybody's ready for this one. So just take a look. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, wrong one. Of course.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah, right.
While I'm introducing this video, I just want you to know that my son Jonathan, who was in the Coast Guard, he's now working with me. He's 23 years old, and I love him to death. He's part of this family.
Nice.
There you go. Bringing them up to the family business.
Good morning, B&I Millionaires. My name is Jonathan Vargas with Professional Negotiators, and I like to help people who want to buy houses.
I can't wait to buy a house. I'm so happy when I buy a house.
But sometimes the mortgage broker says they have bad credit, so they can't buy the house.
I'm Joe DeSanti, and I say no because you have bad credit.
So I have to go ahead and call up the creditors and offer them 20 cents on the dollar and to take it off the credit report.
You owe me money. You can't do that. I want my money, and I'm going to ruin your credit. I'm going to ruin your credit.
But just remember, if you got creditors calling you at home or at work, don't fret. Let professional negotiators get you out of debt.
Those props are interesting to say the least, but I can appreciate the animation. Now, Plinio, now that we've brushed on that subject and we played that video, how does it hurt one who wants to clean up their credit, and let's say there's an outstanding account that's been charged off or whatever it is, and you negotiate and pay the debt for less than what you owe? Does that hurt? Does it not hurt?
Is this something you should do or not do?
That is a very, very good question. I gotta applaud the set, because when you say real people, real stories, the answer that you're gonna get right now, and I hope the people that are listening, take mental notes, because here's an answer that's coming. Midland Credit Management, Commonwealth Financial, and a slew of other collection companies, they have a system called pay for deletion. You can settle an account with Midland Credit Management anywhere between 40 cents on the dollar to 70 cents on the dollar. And as part of their program, you can ask them, will you be able to delete this off the credit report? And they will say yes. So not only do you settle it, Sally, just like you asked, is it good? And on top of that, they'll take it off the credit report. Because of COVID and the times that we're in now, they want money and they're willing to work with you in many ways. Hence, negotiate, get it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And work with you. If you ask the right questions and you're on top of it, and you settle the accounts. You see, Sally, to answer your question, working backwards now, here's the answer to your question. The banks, when you go to buy a house or a car, they don't particularly care that you had a problem in the past. All they care is that your accounts are paid and satisfied. How you get to zero is irrelevant to the bank. So if you settled a $10,000 debt down to $2,000, or you paid the whole $10,000 on a collection account, it's no difference in the eyes of credit how you got to zero. It's zero.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's funny and amazing to hear, because I've had conversations with people many times before, and they said, "Oh, when you don't pay exactly what you owe, you hurt yourself."
May I interject on that one?
No, listen. This is the floor is yours, sir.
Ready? People say a lot of things. A lot of things. I've heard it all.
Yes, they do.
It's amazing the things that people say. I sit here as a professional and people tell me things. Well, I have to pay the whole debt in full because if not, it's going to hurt my credit, right? I'm like, who told you that?
They.
I love they. They are very special people. They say a lot of things and they know it all.
Well, they really don't know it.
But they say a lot.
They do. They talk a lot.
Yeah. And the basically the bottom line is, do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen listening. Don't ask your mom, your cousin, or your cousin's best friend what their thoughts are on things that should be answered by a professional. Okay? If you have a health question, ask a doctor. If you have a credit question, ask a person in credit. Now, it's going to get interesting. Ready? A mortgage broker will tell you to cut up all your credit cards because that will affect your debt to income ratio. So you don't want to go into the home buying process with credit cards. And they are professionals. But once again, they are not credit people. They are mortgage brokers. And that advice is so wrong.
Really?
Contradictory.
It is extremely contradictory, and I can prove it. Here it is.
And before you say that, it's funny that that we've segued into this pocket right now, because there was a question from a Miss Milagros Mili Gutierrez Colon that asked if you should have multiple credit cards.
Here's the answer.
Please.
This book that I labeled Plan C.
I thought you were pulling out a puppet.
That's what I was waiting for. I was like, the red one or the gray one? You don't need any credit cards.
That would have been good. Gentlemen, real people, real stories. You ready? Here it is. This book here contains, I'm going to go fast, 45 credit cards that all belong to me.
What?
Yes. And the credit reporting agencies said, you know what? Because you have so much credit, because your balances are zero, because you've bought and sold homes, we're going to reward you with a 990 beacon score.
Wait.
Since 2010, 2011, 2012, and so on and so forth. Thank you.
Wait a minute.
No, I won't.
How many? How many are in that book? 40?
Here.
42, 45?
45.
One for each president.
For real? Diablo.
45.
But why do you have? You need to explain this, sir.
With pleasure.
And Plinio, is there any fees on those? Like, how does that work? Like, is there monthly fees on those cards? Or
I would never keep a credit card and be charged a penny.
Yeah, they're already making money off of you.
I make money off of them because most of those credit cards pay 2%, 1.5% cashback bonus awards, and I've made thousands of dollars with those credit cards. They're my friends. I love credit cards. Don't ever cut up your credit cards. Whoever told you to cut up your credit cards, I just proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that is false information.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner
Sally Sasson in the building.
And this is the
Real
set
talk.
6145. And we're speaking to the colorful and boisterous Mr. Plinio Vargas out of Florida. And he is covering so many different aspects on financial literacy. And to find out that this gentleman has 40, he has Jackie Robinson number of credit cards and a 998.
990.
990. Sorry, 990.
Excuse me.
Yeah, right.
He went too high. He went too far.
Bendito, we took it too far
No
there.
te pongas.
Yeah. 990 credit score. And, you know, to hear that is amazing. And I think that for many people in the room who are not fully literate or don't have a complete understanding, just know that Mr. Vargas's information will be shared this evening. We will also share his information on our Facebook page, because I'm sure there are a lot of you, after seeing that, want to give this gentleman a call to sort of sort things out, to make your next move financially, especially in this time of COVID. And I think that's amazing. And that shows a lot of proof that this man knows exactly what he's talking about. So, Plinio, now that we've come to the understanding that credit cards don't hurt if they're managed correctly, right?
Now we're talking business.
Right.
Business.
If they're managed correctly,
handle your business.
Or your business is going to handle you.
Your business is your credit cards, is your credit. Know it like the back of your hand. Know your business. It's your life, no one else's.
Yeah. I think that, I'm glad that you said that too, because the reality is we become complacent in the everyday rat race, right? Like, Sally, you know what it is? You get up, you go to work. I don't want to see these fucking people. I can't stand Fulano, and Fulano's always talking shit, and I can't stand, you get caught up in all that and stopping to get gas, and I got to get lunch, and you don't have the bandwidth because you're on this hamster wheel. And the system is set up in a way to make you become complacent, right? Mm-hmm. So it becomes almost not an impossibility, but again, getting wrapped up in the everyday life, you don't necessarily feel that you have the energy to expend on focusing on how your financial stability is at the moment and where it could be in the future. Like we've had these conversations about, wow, we definitely could have done better planning for our future, being, middle aged right now. But Mr. Vargas is definitely shedding light on a lot of things. And I'm glad that you're here. You're gonna say something? So
Plinio, I had piggybacking off Mr. A. As far as the credit goes, right? Co-signing, right? Co-signing, we all hear that it's negative. You don't want to be a co-signer. However, I heard adding someone to your card, like I put my son under my card. I added him to my card to build his credit up. Mm-hmm. He's 15. Is this something you suggest?
Very strongly, yes, I do. However, your son cannot see the fruits of your labor till he's 18.
Right.
Okay. So he can have a credit card with his name on it so he can use it. Mm-hmm. And of course you get the bill and you pay it. But if you make somebody an authorized user on 6 to 7 credit cards only, they got to ask for the person's name, date of birth, and social. And if, let's say I have a $10,000 credit line with my Discover card, mm-hmm. and I gave them Sally Sasson's name, date of birth, address, social, they will put my entire history of my Discover card from 1990 onto your credit report, and that'll guarantee to boost your score between 50 to 100 points within 30 days. And that's the number one way of helping people start establishing credit. Let me tell you where it doesn't work. If you say, Sally, can you please put me on as an authorized user to boost up my score? Okay, no problem. And you put me on your credit card, and my score doesn't budge one single bit. Like, Sally, but what happened? It didn't go up. Well, Plinio, you didn't tell me that you have 2 repos and a foreclosure.
Right.
That carries a lot more weight.
Right.
So my job is to help people clean up their credit, negotiate settlements, deletion letters, then add trade lines, boost up their score, and welcome to the credit repair game, gentlemen.
It's funny that you just ended it with that, because a lot of people see these signs. As I said, the boisterous and colorful Mr. Plinio Vargas. A lot of people see these signs, credit, they hear these, commercials and advertisements, clean up your credit. We help you clean up your credit. Hearing you talk about it here makes it more real. The information seems to be tangible.
Real people, real stories.
Exactly. And it's digestible. Whereas you don't feel like you're getting, the guy with the humongous smile. And, even though you came more suited up, made us feel that we were super underdressed. But
it's my costume, I told you, gentlemen.
Yeah. He's playing the part.
It's the part.
the information that he's giving makes us, makes me at least feel like I'm going to pay this man for his services and I'm actually getting something back. You hear these people on the radio and on TV, that advertise what you're speaking of, and there's no semblance of trust. I don't feel comfortable calling those people. But when I'm listening to you, it's different. Please.
I'd like to share what is for lack of better words, the stigma, the lack of trust, the apprehension. It's very simple. 1 out of 5 people, give or take, have been burnt by a credit repair company. And I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to tell you why. It's very, very simple. Credit repair companies have no idea what they're doing. And let me explain, please. I'm not knocking the companies that fix credit and make money. Their business model of making money is genius. But do they actually care about helping people? Not even a little bit. They care about making money. Let me explain to you how it works. They charge a $200 to $300 setup fee. They charge $99 a month. And then their job is to keep you on the plan as long as possible while they dispute. Now, that's a great moneymaker. If I came up to you, Mr. A or Sally Sasol, and I said, guys, I got a great business model and I can get clients and we can make a ton of money, we're all in the money game. But if you actually care about helping people, then you understand that there's 3 components. Credit repair companies only do 33% of the actual job. But we talked about disputing and removing. What if an item doesn't come off? Then what do? We talked about Midland Credit Management. We talked about Commonwealth. Call up and negotiate, make a deal, and take it off the credit report. Then we talked about the trade lines, right, Sally? Adding on as an authorized user or going up and getting a co-signer or taking a hit with the card, but keep it under $10,000 so at least you get something reported. That is 33%, the full picture. Inevitably, you're going to have a 700 beacon score within a year. That's the difference.
Plinio, backtracking on the other 33%. What if you don't negotiate? How long would it take to get that off your credit report?
7 years. Bankruptcy 10. That's it. Inquiries 2 years.
Hard inquiries.
Good question. Hard inquiries. Yes.
Yeah.
Good question, Sally.
Thank
People.
I have them once in a while.
No, that was the listening audience, the set. This is it. People are hearing. I don't know if you guys, I know you guys are reading the comments underneath, but
yes, ma'am.
Oh, definitely.
The positive feedback is incredible. And that's why, again, from the very beginning, I told you guys, thank you so much for having me on the set. And you guys interview many, many people. Many people and many professions, from sports to other professions in the business industry. But you brought me on board, and I'm just a regular, good old homegrown Dominican kid that came to South Florida with an insane wiring that treats credit and debt like Disney World. What? It happens, man. It happens, right?
He's from Washington High.
It happens. It just happens. I don't know how this happened, but it happened. I just love talking about this topic, and I love helping people get out of a situation only because their actual real goal is they want to buy a house.
Yes. Plinio. So now I'm getting so much feedback in the room. Some people know, some people don't know. People are reaching out. Here's my next question to sort of give everybody a little sense of comfort. So you have an audience of, let's say, 26 people, and out of those 26 people, you get 15 phone calls. Now, 15 different lives have different circumstances for each one.
Of course.
What is the support that you have to make sure that these 15 people get what they need? Is it you alone? Is it, do you have a secretary? Like, what is it looking like
You have
for
a
them?
team.
Yeah.
I am currently working as we speak with about 500 active clients. I have Stella, who is also from the Bronx. She's been with me for 15 years. She's my director of operations, my right arm. I've got Vilma Reyes from New York as well, too. She's Puerto Rican, and she's been with me for 7 years.
Vilma Reyes?
Vilma Reyes, yes.
Where's she from?
She's from Puerto Rico. She's from...
no, like what part of New York?
I believe Brooklyn.
I think we know her.
Yeah, you might.
Is that Angelica Reyes' sister?
Angelica, yeah, it might be her sister.
No, I think Angelica, it may be her niece.
Yeah, that's Vilma.
She works for me.
Nice.
Get out of here.
Small world. Okay, wait. And then I have Helen Arroyo, who is my marketing director, and she is got a 25 years as a branch manager and has worked in the banking industry for years. I just recruited her last year. So we'd known each other for 7 years, exchanged a lot of business. And I said, you know what? I need you here. Blah! And I dropped her here. I have Jibril Hindi. He is an attorney that works with us. And his job is whenever my clients hire us, they're given a set of instructions. And instruction number 1 is you bring me every credit report that we order for you, along with collection letters. My attorney will review the collection letters, stay with me. And if I'm speaking too fast, slow me down.
No, you're good.
Okay. My attorney will review all the collection letters looking for violations. One violation could be something as simple as Midland Credit Management did not write, this is an attempt to collect the debt. If they don't put that down, not only will he sue the company, the collection company, not only will the debt be forgiven and taken off the credit report, but my clients get up to $1,000 in their pocket. That's how nasty this game is. So the answer to your question is yes, I've got support, Sally. I'm just the president.
You're not just a client.
I'm nobody here, dude. I don't do anything. My staff does everything. I just get on the radio. Come on. You know how it is.
Yeah, you're the puppet master.
Yeah, there you go, the puppet master.
I deliver the information and the machine all takes over. I'm a businessman.
People, if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner.
Sally Song in the building.
And this is the set. And tonight we're speaking to Mr. Plinio Vargas about financial literacy. And he definitely has a unique way of bringing people to the forefront and to the table of becoming clients. I think that's ultimately where we're at, listening to him, because not only does he put the information in such an easy and digestible way, but he adds his own personality and comedy to the situation to make people relax and feel some sort of trust, if you would. So the car salesman edge is definitely out the window. As you can see, he's already spoken about his team and how many people he has and what they do specifically to help with people's cases. And I think that speaks even further to his credibility. So just keep in mind, we will be having his information on our page, but I want to continue the conversation. Plinio. So we also have another video that you had sort of shared with us. Do we want to segue into that now? The checking and what is it? Bank account shell game?
Mr. A, it's like you're reading my mind, because if you were going to let me speak, I was going to say, by the way, I'd like to introduce the next video. Okay. I cannot believe you just did that, but it's like osmosis or something.
Brujeria, we call it.
Brujeria. I love it. I love it.
ESP, extra sensitive Puerto Rican. But now,
go ahead and play the video, and then I will come in and explain the video in lay terms.
Okay, wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to share this video. This is called The Bank Account Shell Game by Mr. Plinio Vargas. So I hope everybody just pay attention and listen.
I hope you like it.
Yeah, let's go. Here we go. Share. Here we are.
Good afternoon, my credit family. let's play a shell game. Today we're going to play a game called bank accounts. Every single person watching this video has at least 3 bank accounts. The first bank account that we have is called a cash account. That is money that's in your wallet, that is money that's in your pocket, or that's money that's in your purse. The second bank account that we have is a checking account. Everyone has at least one checking account. And then the third bank account that we have is a credit card account. Yes, this is considered a bank account. But here's the trick. You see, most of us keep all of our money in our credit card account that costs us between 18 to 29% interest. Whereas when we have plenty of money in our wallet, in our pocket, or in a drawer, we call it our cash account, that pays you a whopping 0% interest. Now, if you decide to keep your money in your checking account after you pay your rent or your mortgage or your car payment or your insurance, now that money earns about 0.08% interest in today's economy. My question to you is, why in the world do you keep such a high balance costing you so much money when you could deplete all the money from here to pay this off, and then before you know it, you have so much more money left in your credit card account? Nah, gotcha. In your checking account. Food for thought. Call me if you have any questions. Have a nice day. Good.
So
that opens up a lot of questions, huh?
yeah, that's the only way we could go. There was so much there.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain to people a little further the benefits and how moving their money between these accounts and keeping their balances low, etc., could benefit them in the long run?
My cousin asked me for some advice one day, and he lives here in Florida, and he was telling me that he had $10,000 tucked away underneath his bed, and he wanted to see what he can do, what business he could invest in to be able to make more money, or where can he put his money to earn interest. He just wanted to find a way what to do with this money that he'd been saving for years. And I looked at him and I said, well, the first way that I can guarantee you an 18 to 29% return on your investment is by paying off your credit cards.
That would help, right? Pay your bills.
You got $10,000 in credit card debt, and you want to know how you can make money?
Jesus, pay that off, dummy.
But it was no, and I tried very hard to use humor.
Right.
I want to bring up wiring,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, I understand that people don't get it because it is a blessing and a gift that I thank God for and I'm grateful for, because people don't understand what having $10,000 in your bed is doing for you, which is nothing. You're carrying credit card debt and you're trying to find a way to make some money. Well, you get rid of your credit card debt through paying it off or negotiating, depending on the validity.
Right.
And then you think about this for a second. Let's say you work really, really hard and you're smart with your money and you have a house, you have a car, and every single penny, you're following my strategy. You're paying off your credit card debt, zero balance. You paid off your car, you keep it for 2 or 3 years. And then before you know, you worked really hard and you paid off your mortgage in 15 years instead of 30 years. And now you're still making the same kind of money. What happens to that money? It just grows. You have no debt. Get rid, as a professional negotiator, I beg you, live debt free. And if you're not, that's got to be the only goal you have, is living debt free. When we have to have a Bentley, when we have to have the Rolex, when we have to have the rope and the whip and the this and the that, tú sabes, all that, you're just begging
yes,
to be living in slavery of debt, begging. And you know what? At the end of the day, especially for the men out there, you want to know what women really like outside of huge muscles and expensive cars? Ready for the big word? Here it comes. Drum roll. Ladies, are you with me? Security.
Security.
It's amazing. You offer that, they love you long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I also wanted
Try
to
that line in a bar one day. Sorry.
No, I've been married 25 years. No bars for me.
No, I'm talking about the average person listening.
Oh,
Say, I can offer you security. Hey, whoa, this guy's
hey, baby.
Este
What's
tipo
going on?
es de verdad.
Está guapo, está guapo.
I could grow to like him.
Yeah, right. I want to jump on something that you said. Pause. You said about having the Bentley, and recently, or just now, I've been doing car shopping, right?
Mhm.
So this is something that we have to sort of condition ourselves to understanding. Now, in one hand, my children are grown. I have 2 adult children. My daughter's 26. My son is 22. My son and daughter have their own cars, their own vehicles, right?
Right.
I don't necessarily need the vehicle with all the space because my children are grown. So I'm thinking, ooh, I want to get a nice this kind of vehicle or that kind of vehicle, right?
Mhm.
At the same time, trying to strip myself of that sort of appearance that I'm, soccer dad, right?
Right.
But I don't necessarily need to have the vehicle that is, the Camaro or the Dodge Charger and all those things. I can still have a nice vehicle that is economically sound, gets me great MPG, and still has, luxury appearances and features.
Of course.
And I think that as we get on in our years as adults, we should come to that understanding that we don't necessarily have to jump out the window when it comes to, these trinkets, because ultimately it's going to hurt our finances, where we could be taking money from there and putting it somewhere else, right? Purchasing vehicles or whatever kind of accessories you could think of, we should start to condition ourselves to think more, not so much frugally, like thinking in a frugal context, but thinking, do I really need that? Is that a necessity?
May I?
No, floor is yours, sir.
You've had professional athletes on the set, correct?
Yes, we have.
Have you had famous singers and rappers as well?
We've had entertainers and
Yes.
people who are in the business. Yes.
We know Romeo, formerly from Aventura, right? We know who he is, right?
Nah, who's that guy? Who's that?
Yeah, we know who he is.
Listen, when these professional athletes
Mhm.
and artists who clearly make millions of dollars buy a Bentley, is because they can afford it. It's within their means. There's nothing wrong with a Bentley if you can afford it.
Right.
If you're driving a Bentley and your bills are up to date, you got money in the bank, you got investments, you got your estate plan, your kids are taken care of, your wife is happy, dude, by all means, drive a Bentley. You can afford it. It's living above our means that makes this country so amazing. Here's the game. It is so amazing that the minute you get in your vehicle on your way home tonight, you will hear at least 3 car commercials. No money down. Drive a Mercedes-Benz E350. No money down. 0% interest. Everything we just said is not true. Everything, and the guy comes in and says all the little small talk at the end. Yeah, it's amazing how they sell America, sell. All they do is sell. And we as Americans are hypnotized driving with billboards all over the highway about buy luxury jewelry, diamonds are forever, and get the Rolex watch. You're watching Wimbledon on TV. The big old Rolex watch sign is there. The Mercedes-Benz. All we get inundated with advertising. But if we don't know about our money and our budgeting, then we get caught up, and then the dream is, yo me voy a mudar a Nueva York porque yo quiero un Bentley. Okay, no, hold on. That was a commercial. That was a commercial. Whoa. Let's go back to reality. And my family's been known to go to the Dominican Republic and put on their best jewelry and dress up and talk about all the wealth that they have when it's not true, but they're selling that dream, and it's perpetual. It never ends. So everybody that comes from the Dominican Republic to South Florida or New York, they think that everyone here is rich. And rich is such a weird word. It's weird. Oprah Winfrey is rich.
Yeah.
He's wealthy.
Extremely wealthy.
He's wealthy.
Lil Wayne is rich, wealthy.
Yeah.
There's people that have that kind of money. I'm not wealthy, but I have no debt. I can do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it, and not have to worry about the burden of how am I going to pay for this. I live within my means.
Yeah. Stay in your lane.
In your lane.
Stay in your financial lane. Didn't somebody say that? So somebody talked about that, right? Stay in your financial lane.
Somebody very smart said that.
Yeah.
That means whoever you're associating yourself with smart people.
You know, right. I have a like an A and B retirement question, right? So if you invest in a 401k, should you match like maximum match into the 401k, or should you do Roth 401 or IRA? And my next question off of that is, if you don't have any 401ks or anything, what are other options to save for retirement?
Good question. IRA, 401k, max it all out. The law states that for a IRA, the maximum that you can put in is about $5,500 a year. And that way is the biggest tax break that you can get. Anything above that, it doesn't help. So max that out and get your tax break. So now instead of, if you're taking home, let's say you get a refund from the government for, let's say, $1,200, now your refund's going to be bigger. It's going to be like about $2,000. But you invested $5,500 tax-free. And now when you retire, you're going to have money saved for your retirement. It's your money that you invested. Dabble in the stock market. Play $20, $30, $40. It's called a portfolio. Remember that shell game? Have many accounts. Your 401k bank account, your insurance bank account, your stock portfolio bank account, your checking, your wallet. Now remember, we're talking about wiring. To me, this is a delightful conversation. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. Obviously, we could do this for another 3 hours. I can do this all day.
Yes, sir.
But keep in mind that if you're not that person, they got to find somebody that they can trust to say, do it for me.
Right.
Now, I don't want to say I can be that person, but nevertheless, there are more people that specialize in things like that are maybe even in your family. Friends, loved ones. Ask around. Just ask the questions. You'll be very, very pleased. Yeah.
I like the way he put that, because another person would have said, oh, yeah, I can do that for you. Because you're going to outsource it and take a little off the top, right?
No, yeah. It's ask your family. Find somebody. This is real talk, real stories, real people. I mean, this is not an advertisement. I'm not here to do that. Business is good for me, by the way. I'm fine. This is today taking the time on the set to have a real conversation with real people and get real answers. You don't have to call me. If you do call me and you have questions, I'll answer them. My staff is equipped to answer questions. It doesn't mean that you got to hire me. No, just understand that if you have real, serious questions, I have a quick answer for you. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute conversation. A quick question, a real answer, off the phone, you're done. It's safe zone. Family. I mean, I don't know if your listening audience is predominantly Dominican.
It's a plethora of different races. You have people that are West Indian, Boricuas, black, white, Italian. It's everything.
I have a very sensitive feeling for minorities and a very sensitive feeling for Caribbean because that's who I am. And so I really reach out to that group of people, embrace them like family, and teach them what I know because, man, it's so needed. It's so needed. And the puppet routine and all that nonsense, the cheesy stuff that I do, it's just to get your attention, man. Because I know this topic is boring.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough subject. Yeah, to keep people focused. But again, this will be here, so you could always go back to it and see what you might have. I'm going back to it and write some stuff down myself that I missed. But it's definitely knowledgeable stuff that you're giving us here, and we thank you for coming on for sure.
La cosa es que people need to really start to understand. And Shelly and I have been having this conversation, especially now, because again, we've reached middle age. I hate even saying it, dude. It's middle age, Jesus Christ. But we've reached the point of middle aged, and we don't. Cuando llega el momento that we're going to retire and finally say we're not doing this no more. No quiere que estás comiendo, comida de gato y perro. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be living with our children. We want to be able to be comfortable and not get thrown in the nursing home.
This is something, like you said earlier, Plinio. This is something that wasn't taught in school to us, and we couldn't expect our parents to teach us because they weren't taught. So how do we learn? And stuff like this is what helps us all as a community learn.
God bless the both of you, the set, because if you're bringing more people like me of other professions to educate the public, your show is going to explode beyond dimensions that we can comprehend if it hasn't already.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, sure. I've been doing radio for 15 years, my friends, and really? Yes, and it's all Caribbean radio, Haitian radio, Jamaican radio, Spanish radio, and this is by far the most fun I've ever had on a segment.
Wow. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, the most fun, baby.
Yes. Listen, Plinio, we want to thank you for coming on the show. Mm-hmm. We want to say that we appreciate you and understand everybody that we have on becomes a part of the family. So in the future, if there's events, if you are doing a seminar, a webinar, anything,
puppet show.
You got it.
Anything that you want to promote or bring to the people, you have an open invitation here anytime. Just reach out and we bring you on the show, even if it's for 2 minutes, even if it's for another segment, whatever it is.
That's some serious love. Thank you.
We would definitely. This is an open invitation.
Yeah.
Plinio, I got one more question. I forgot before we let you go.
Hit me.
Educational stuff for the kids, right? Now it's $5.29. Is that a good option? And if not, also at what age would you start? Like when the kids, for this funding, like when would you start putting this money away for this educational stuff?
I missed the part about ask me the question again.
Okay. For the kids, like the $5.29, the to invest into like a $5.29, so for I guess like college funding.
Yeah, college. Like college. Okay. Prepaid college.
At what age is like a good start?
If you're gonna do prepaid college, it's very simple. The minute they're born, you start. The sooner the better, because every year that you wait, college tuition goes up even more. Okay. Gotcha. If that is something that you want to do, most people do it, and it does work. I didn't do it. Right. I personally, stay with me. Here we go.
Let's go.
I personally put my kids through private school, and I said, college is on you. Better dance, better run, better jump, better do something. You better be the smartest kid in the class and get a scholarship to Harvard. But I ain't paying for it.
Ven limpia la oficina, no joda.
Come on, man. I got my kids. I got 3 boys. and 24, 23, and 16, and one of them is still in college. If I did the prepaid plan, it would have been wasted because he's been there for 6 years. If the other one decided to go to the Coast Guard, the one that you saw in the commercial, he got out of the Coast Guard. He's with me now, but that would have been a waste of a plan. I will take you through high school. This is me, personal, not professional.
Right.
I will take you through high school with the best of the best. But after that, while you're in school, you decide if you're going to be a football player, you're going to be a student, you're going to be a young Sheldon. I don't care what it is, but you got to decide which road you're going to pave. And I'm not paying for that.
You know,
That's
a lot of people,
point of view.
Yeah,
Thank
no, a lot of people will hear that, but and say, "Wow, he doesn't have any feelings for his kids, or he don't." I think it's the opposite.
Thank you.
Because what you're doing is you're putting your child or your new young adult in a position to understand, I'm making a decision and I'm going to live and die by this decision. So the decision I choose to make is on me, right?
Boom.
My papi and mommy are not telling me you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and I don't
Raise
want
them.
to.
Men.
That exactly.
Raising men. Man up. Let's go. It's time. Love you kids to death. Whatever you need, I got you. But you got to make a decision how hard you're going to work to get yourself to college. One of them said, I'm going to the Coast Guard. That would have been a waste of money.
Yeah.
Right.
It would have been.
I didn't know he wanted to do that.
Oh, no, they would have found something to do with that money.
For real.
You got
Ladies and gentlemen, the boisterous, the colorful, the informative, Mr. Plinio Vargas. Mr. Vargas, please, again, I can't stress enough.
Share your information, please.
Yes, please share your business information or whatever you can disseminate to the audience right now, please.
Professional Negotiators has been in business for 23 years. We opened May 1998. You can call us with questions at the telephone number of 305-493-1900. Again, the telephone number is 305-493-1900. For the past 23 years, we help people clean up their credit, get out of debt, manage their money, and purchase vehicles. Yes, we clean you up, get you out of debt, help you manage your money, the bank account shell game, and then we take you shopping. We go negotiate cars because we're professional negotiators.
People, I love that.
My son, by the way, is the auto broker. He's the one that goes with you to the dealership, and he has his headphones on. He's like, Dad, they're trying to charge a $7.95 deal for you. What do I do? I said, tell them to back that out of the deal. When you back it out of the deal, they can do that by lowering the price of the car, then adding it back in. Was that too fast, guys? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It's the end of the show. Just call me, 305-493-1900.
All right.
Mr. Plinio Vargas, please sit in the green room. We want to talk to you after we close out the show.
Pleasure, sir.
Pleasure all mine.
Oh my God. Yo, About Time one.
Yeah, man. We've been waiting for this, man. It's it's a lot to take in. We're trying to get as much information as we can. I'm sure Mr. Vargas would love to come back on, hopefully some ROI happens on get some people we're talking acronyms, right? Like we didn't want to talk acronyms, but no, man, it's definitely, something, a show that I definitely will go back and watch and, keep learning.
People, we're definitely going to try to make this a reoccurring theme because there are going to be questions. There's going to be situations. They're going to be, thank you, Ms. Reyes. Good night to you. There's going to be a lot of that. However, at some point, you have to muster up the bravery and pick up the phone and call Plinio, call his team. The gentleman has been at this for many, many, many years. And as you can see, he's not just selling. Salute, Mr. Rodriguez. We see you, our brother. He's not just blowing smoke. The guy knows what he's doing. And that's the only reason why we had him on the show.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And the way the world is now, like, we got Joey here in Texas. We got people in Florida, Ray in Cali. That's the way the world works right now. You could be anywhere and get help. So, he's in Florida. That doesn't mean he can't help you.
Yeah, you could be anywhere, but you're here with us. And we want to help you, right?
Share the page.
Yes.
Share the YouTube. Hit them likes.
subscribe.
Subscribe, man.
Remember Sunday we have the virtual big game. We have the love show for Valentine's Day. We're gonna have Mucho Macho Love and Mr. Aficiao giving their love advice to callers. So I hope you could all join us for that. And yeah, I thank you everybody for joining. Just keep watching, share, and we'll be back with another one soon. We out of here, so
we out. Stay safe, everybody.
Yes.